Hi everyone, today we took another trip up north and we went to the traveling Brimfield Antique Show. It's the first time it came to the Adirondacks and it landed in North Hudson, New York, which is just above Scroon Lake, which I did a video previously about a craft fair in Scroon Lake. This is where we went that morning before we went to the craft show. The location of this antique show is at a place that used to be called Frontier Town, and it used to be an amusement park for children. That building that you see right there is a renovated original part of Frontier Town. We're going into it right now, as you see, and it's currently a restaurant and gift shop, and it's a place where they do events. And right now we went to the back of it, and now we're in where they have the indoor vendors for the Brimfield show. They had about 25 vendors at this location, and after you go to this location, which is kind of like the starter place, you walk up the street about 5 minutes and you get to a place that is year-round an antique place, but they are using the property around it and they set up another 100 vendors or so. So what I'm going to do is just take you through the shops that are in this part and in the exterior part up the street. And I try to film slowly. I'm not real great at that. And I try to do zoom ins on some of the products and in some of the vendors' areas. There is so many things. It was really fun because for me, it was kind of a trip down memory lane. There are so many things I remember from the 70s and 80s. And I also remember some things my grandmother had, which then that means they were probably from the 50s and 60s. But isn't this beautiful, this building here? It's just gorgeous. And I love how they decorate with the wood. It's a really pretty building, and they have not just antiques, but as you can see, there's modern things like soaps and candles and modern jewelry. So I guess it was also a flea market and not just an antique fair. I like this building, so I wanted to go around and show a little bit more of just the building and the view to downstairs from the upstairs. So we walked around the vendors here, and then we left and we headed up the road a little ways and we got to the next part of it, so you'll see that pretty soon. But enjoy seeing a few more of the things that were in the indoor market. I tried to get video of a variety of things. I tend to show this blue glass a lot when I find it. I love the cobalt blue color, and I have some bottles of this color, but I've actually never really thought about there being other things, and those were beautiful. So we walk around a little bit more and we're going back downstairs from this building, and then we will soon head out on the walk up the street towards the second part of the show. So it's about a 5-minute walk, and we go past the signs for Paradox Brewery and Frontier Town Campground, and the sign there pointed to North Hudson and Port Henry and Scroon Lake. And here we are coming upon, in the background you can see the antique store sign. And we go in and there's a rock climbing wall and some food vendors. My husband knows the man who is running this booth right here. He's a blacksmith, and my husband used to work with him for a while. So I left my husband there chatting with him, and I took off. And it turns out it's a good idea that I did that, because it was probably a half hour or more later before I asked him if he was still there, and he came looking for me so we could walk around together. But he had a nice time chatting with his friend that he hasn't seen in a while. So I just walked around and I tried to zoom in on some interesting things. I did some panning around and just gave you a view of what the whole place looked like. It was really full of a big variety of things. Coming up here, you're going to get a really good view of the head of a moose, and we were face to face for a moment. He was really pretty, but I would love to see a live one someday that close. There were so many cool things like these old typewriters and just a variety. I take some video of toys a lot. I think that's because it brought back so many memories. But there were things like furniture and baskets and tools and just the biggest variety I've ever seen. I know this isn't the actual Brimfield, and that goes forever, I hear. I would like to go to that someday. I'm not that far away from Massachusetts, and it could probably be a day trip for us. So I don't really have much to say all through this, but I hope you stick around and just kind of watch what you see, and maybe something will trigger a memory for you, or you actually might have it, or you see something very interesting that maybe you'll start going on a search for. But I'll let you watch this a little bit, and I hope you stick around. It's pretty long. It's about 18 minutes, and believe me, it could be tons longer. There was a lot of cast iron, and I can't even remember everything that was there. But after we go through the outdoors, we do go into the antique shop that is there year-round, and that was really cool. A lot of different booths. And in the antique shop, they have a train set that runs along the high part of the building. There's like painted walls and scenery for a train set. I didn't see it running today, but I hope you stick around and take a look at the inside of the antique shop. I'd love for you to tell me in the comments if you see something that sparked a memory for you, or something that you wish you had and you spotted it here. There was just so much, and I did not even share with you most of the things that were there. I tried to keep this kind of short, but it was just so fascinating, and I did not buy one single thing. It was nice to have a little trip down memory lane and see all the vintage things, but I don't need to bring them into my home. This is a great way to get that nostalgic feeling without also bringing things into your home that really would just be a cluttering thing. So enjoy, and I'm probably not going to narrate much more unless I see something else I want to just pop back in and say. Here we came back to the original building where we started out, and this is just the view of the mountains and the building and some of the antique implements they have. It was really a hazy day up there today because of the Canadian wildfires, but it was a really nice day, and we're back headed out and on to lunch, which we went to a restaurant we like in the town of Schroon Lake, which you saw if you watched my video previous to this one. It was all in all a really nice day, and I really had a great time seeing all of the things at this antique fair, and I'm sure I missed so much.